Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This week I'm going to be planning 3 different weeks with 2 kits that you see here. Both of them are going to be from WhimsicalPlans. I was looking for moving kits and she was the only shop that had them, so I decided to use these 2 kits over the span of 3 weeks. Here I'm showing you the finished base that I laid down of all the 3 different weeks, and I'm going to be moving on to the daily plans. This video is an hour long already, and if you watched my last video, you already know that I'm already stressed from everything else in my life that's going on, and knowing that this voiceover is an hour long is stressing me out even more. I cut down as much as I can. I didn't even show my base. All of this is just my daily plans that you're going to be seeing here, but I'm gonna try to go through it as fast as I can with as much detail as I can. But as always, if I miss something, go ahead and leave me a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Starting off on Monday was my fiance's birthday, so I just wanted to mark it with this little cake and a page flag. And also I had these birthday scripts, so I decided to use that to mark it. After that, I was giving a bath to my dog, and I always like to mark that. So I have these Paper Company stickers. That sounded like a tongue twister. And I marked it with the sticker that I got from them. And after that, I had some things that I needed to deal with at the management office at the condo I live at. So I ended up going there, and I just used the sticker from the kit. I was trying to stick with as much of the kit as possible to basically be able to use all of the kit over the 3 spreads that you're going to be seeing. But there were some things that I needed to pull in towards the end, since I wasn't really dividing up how much labels and appointment stickers and half boxes and all of that. I wasn't dividing it evenly, so I ended up using a majority of the kits in the first 2 spreads, and towards the end I had to pull a lot more from my personal stash. Here I'm just adding a day extender, just because a lot of the things that I'm going to be doing within the next couple of weeks is there's going to be a lot. So this day particularly, I added a day extender so I can add more space and more items to the day. Out of all the 3 spreads, this one was the only one that I didn't have a washi for. Like I said, I'm only using 2 different kits, so I actually did not have a washi for the bottom of this particular kit. I ended up pulling 2 stickers that I had, 2 washis that I had from Simply Gilded, and I used that, and I thought they incorporated pretty well into the rest of the spread. One of them is kind of a pale pink beige color, and the bottom one's kind of a golden color with some silver and rose gold foils. I thought they both matched pretty well, so I ended up using it for this particular spread. And dividing up the full boxes was the most hard thing I think that I had to do, just because a lot of the boxes were very similar to each other and the color scheme was very similar to us. I was able to use it across the 3 spreads, but there wasn't that many full boxes to evenly distribute them throughout all the weeks. So some days you're going to see they don't have full boxes, which I actually ended up liking. But I always love to use all the full boxes that a kit has, which makes it harder for 1 week, because I end up using 9 boxes instead of 7 or whatever the recommended usually is. So that's why usually I do need to use day extenders, because I do want to use all the full boxes. I don't want them to go to waste. And that's why for this spread, you're also going to see a lot of day extenders, just because there were some days that were busier than others. Monday marked the first painting day that I had. I marked that I went to Sherwin-Williams Paint to get some paint using a half box and some of the stickers that were provided in the kit. Luckily, WhimsicalPlans had a lot of deco that was provided in the kit, so I didn't need any painting stickers since I don't have any offhand. And my cousins came to help me to do some painting, so I actually marked it with the foiled heart sticker that you saw earlier. On the inside, I marked that the AC guy came to the new place to check out the AC and see what was going on, because I was getting concerned that the old tenants maybe did something to it and it wasn't working right after we purchased it. He came and he seemed to have a temporary fix for it, but it worked for 5 minutes, and by the time he left and I was still there painting, the AC was not turning on and it was still hot as ever, so it was just really frustrating. My fiance came back from work that day and he was trying to help with the painting, but him and I are very particular and different people, and the way I was painting was not to his satisfaction, so I used the Once More With Love munchkin right there just to show my frustration at why he thinks his way is the only way when the results are the same. I'm a preschool teacher, so I was trying to tell him that there's many ways to do things, and as long as the result is the same thing, then what does it matter? We got into a little tidbit of a fight that was happening. After that, we decided to get some takeout since it was his birthday. We got delicious Korean chicken place because the one we originally wanted was actually not open that day. The place ended up being really delicious, and we just ended up watching Netflix at the end of the night. And I'm assuming we were still watching Indian Matchmaker. Usually if I don't mark it, the last show that I marked is the one that we're still continually watching. We're pretty monogamous with the way we watch shows. We usually just watch one at a time straight through, and then we move on to another one unless there's different seasons. Then we kind of watch them interchangeably. I'm so sorry if you hear me out of breath. I really don't know how people do walkthroughs talk-throughs and voiceovers for that long, because I'm already dying and I'm barely starting this video. I'm only on Tuesday. Tuesday I started off with some Starbucks. I decided to treat myself to some Starbucks before I went to the new place to paint all day. We had a different color of paint for the living room than the bedrooms because the previous owners, it didn't match. So since we're matching it, it's requiring a lot of paint from the living room, and it took a couple coats before it actually turned the same color as the bedrooms. And I needed a lot of fuel to get me through the day since I was going to be by myself for a majority of the day. So I ended up using a half box just to mark that for the majority of the day I was painting at the new place. The fridge was also something that was kind of an issue when we were moving in. Like I told you guys previously, if you've watched my older videos, when we moved into this place, there were a lot of things that went wrong, and we're kind of learning as we're living along. But one of the other things that we had some trouble with was just the fridge has some buttons that weren't working. So our realtor was able to send somebody in to try to see what they could do about it, but it ended up not getting fixed, and he said to replace it would cost a couple $100. So we did not want to do that. So my fiance and I ended up getting a new fridge. The other thing was the AC guy. He also came back to fix the AC, and luckily this time it actually worked. He did something with the motor, and we didn't have to pay him or anything because I think he was the one that checked the previous owner's AC. So luckily that got fixed, and for the rest of the week we were able to paint with AC on. I marked the AC guy and the fridge guy coming to help with the little house sticker that I had, and I just used it with this page flag. And my other cousin was able to actually come and help me again this day, so I marked that with a little thing similar to how I marked it like on Monday. When my fiance was done with work and he came back, he actually came and helped paint some more, just because I'm afraid of heights, and even on the ladders I'm really scared to go on the highest level. So we have higher ceilings here than our old place, and I was not willing to go on the top of the ladders. Like I said before, you're going to see a lot of Home Depot runs just because we kept buying things and then we would run out. This was our first time painting a place. I've painted my room before in my previous house that I lived with my mother, but this was a bigger project and we kind of didn't calculate it well enough about everything we need. So we were making a lot of trips just to make sure that we had all the materials, especially since some of our friends and family luckily were able to come and help us out. We wanted to make sure we had enough materials for them to help us with. So I've been marking all of them with these Here Right Design kind of tools with a bow sticker, and to mark all of my Home Depot runs. That's what I'm doing. That night I also watched more Netflix, and I was able to edit the video that I filmed previously. I tried to be creative with some of my transitions in this video. Just like my last video, I kind of did something between the not writing spread and then the writing spread. So I hope you'll notice them in this one, and I hope you guys like them. If you don't, go ahead and give me some critiques about what I can do to improve. I just wanted to spice it up a little bit, especially since this is an hour-long video. You guys can definitely grab a snack if you like, or come back to this video at another time if you like to finish at a different time. That's usually what I do with longer videos. Just let me know what you guys think at the end of the video. Moving on to Wednesday, I brought my dog to the vet the previous week, but they forgot to do the heartworm test for him. So on this day, I actually had to bring him back to the vet to make sure that they were able to complete it. This day, my sister also came down from the burbs to help me out with painting. So I used some deco from the spread, and I was able to mark it like that. This day, we also had the locks changed for the house, and the guy that came was able to change it with no issues, and I just used it once more with Love Little Munchkin to mark that. My sister doesn't come down often, and I really needed to make a Bed Bath & Beyond run, so we ended up going to Bed Bath & Beyond and by the Bed Bath & Beyond, there's a new Hello Jasmine, which if you guys have watched me for a while now, you guys will know that that's my favorite milk tea place. So we decided to go to Hello Jasmine as well as the Bed Bath & Beyond just to pick up some items that I needed. After we came home, I completely forgot to go back to the house. So the next day I actually came back to all the paint supplies hardened, which was a pain to get off. Like I said, I'm a noob when it comes to painting, so I was very novice to everything that needed to be done. And since my sister was down here, I got really distracted. That night I was also cooking for me and my fiance. I ended up making some lo mein and gailan, if you guys know what that is. It's some Chinese broccoli basically and some Chinese noodle dish. And it turned out okay. I wouldn't say it was the best, but it was simple to make and it was edible. This day we also were able to finish Indian Matchmaker, and it was a very interesting show. I'd recommend watching it if you've never heard of Indian matchmaking. I think that's the culture that it's most common in. The concept of the show was very, very interesting, but spoiler alert, they kind of leave you on a cliffhanger for most of the people that they feature on the show. You never really know what happens to them. I tried to look it up on Google as well, but they don't have complete answers for all the people that were on the show, which is kind of frustrating because you kind of want some closure as to what happened and whether or not they were the people that end up together were successful, or even the people that aren't successful, what happened to them afterwards. But it was an interesting thing to see happen and kind of the process of how it normally goes. So we were able to finish all of that. I don't think there are that many episodes on Netflix, so if you are interested in watching it, I'd definitely give it a watch. Last week I also mentioned that I went to the Genius Bar to fix my iMac. This evening my iMac was shutting down randomly again, and it happened a total of 3 times before I gave up. When it was happening a lot, I usually let it kind of shut down, and then I would kind of unplug it and then plug it back in, give it a couple seconds in between, and try to see if it will work again. And sometimes it would and sometimes it wouldn't. By the 3rd time that it shut off that night, I was feeling really frustrated, so I ended up just closing it down and just go on my phone instead of being on the computer. Moving on to Thursday was another Starbucks day. I treated myself to some Starbucks, and then I went to the new place to basically finish painting some more. I think it ended up being a 2-week project before we were completely finished with all the painting. But keep in mind, my fiance was working all the time. He works at a hospital, so he works normal hours, and he wasn't able to help me until he got off of work. And it's pretty far away, so it usually takes him some time to get back. This day, I also made some trip to Target, TJ Maxx, and Home Depot just to get some more materials that I would need. Painting is very time consuming, and the job was probably not done as perfectly as could have been. Next time I do it, I would probably pay someone to do it instead, especially the labor that went into it. It was a lot of work. Painting sounds easy when you think about it as a whole, but doing it on its own, it was really more of a job than I thought it would be. I think if I had the help of my fiance all the time, maybe it would have been a little bit faster of a job, but because he had to work and I was doing it most of the time by myself or with some help of my family and friends, it just took a little bit longer than I was hoping it would. I was hoping it would be done faster so we could be able to clean the apartment up a little bit more, because the painting kind of comes before the real cleaning, and we really were in a time crunch to try to finish it before the carpeting came in, which was, I think, the same week that this painting was happening. So we had to make sure that we were finishing painting all the bedrooms even, and mostly the living room before the carpeting comes in, just so the carpeting doesn't get messed up when it was coming to be done and when it was finished. So like I said, on Thursday I was able to go to Target, TJ Maxx, and Home Depot just to pick up some things. And after my fiance came back from work, he was able to help some more. So I marked it the same way. I used a little label and then used a heart foiled icon to mark that he came to help. I do love day extenders, but they are very hard to work with. So for this day in particular, I did use a day extender, but I hate how I layered some things. But once you place things down, it's pretty hard to pick them back up. So when I used the day extender here, I forgot that I put a full box on the top of this one. So I thought I had more space to put stuff on the top, which is why I put a half box down to mark picking up something at my mom's house. After you place things down, it's pretty hard to pick them back up because there's paper on both sides. I get really wary on how it's going to be picked up. I'm scared that things usually get ripped, so I usually just leave it. I just used this paper clip from the kit to mark that I was picking up something from my mom's, and as I was layering down the things on the bottom, I realized that things were kind of cramped, but there wasn't really anything I could do since everything was put down already, so I kind of just had to leave it, and since it's on the inside, I think it's fine. I was watching some YouTube at the rest of the night, and one of my favorite K-pop groups, which is called Twice, they were having an online concert. I think that was coming up, so I decided to get some just to boost my spirits and have something to look forward to. Since we're in COVID right now, obviously there aren't any concerts, so I just wanted to participate in that because they were the first concert. They were one of the first concerts I went to when I really got into K-pop. And I really wanted to watch them online as well to see what the experience would be like. And at the end of the night, no surprise there, my iMac shut down 3 times again before I got frustrated and just left it alone for the rest of the day. Moving on to Friday, I just had a morning K-pop sesh. This day I decided I didn't want to go over to the new place and paint, so I actually just stayed home and just had a super lazy day. When my fiance got home from work though, he wanted to go to Home Depot, so I ended up using the tools sticker again just to mark that we went to a trip there. Since it was Friday, we also got some takeout. We went to a place called Gao's, which has some delicious beef skewers that we really enjoyed, that I enjoy, I should say. And this day was the day that we actually started Schitt's Creek, which I've heard a lot about from the planner world and from my regular friends in the regular world. I've heard a lot about the show, so I thought I would give it a try with my fiance and see if it was the type of show that he would be into as well. And so far we're on the 4th season, I believe, and we've been enjoying it a lot. I really love David in particular. He is me to a T, I would say, just not as sassy. I don't think I could channel how sassy him and his whole family is, but I've been enjoying it pretty much. And my fiance and I have been mimicking their voices and accents a lot, I would say. This was one of the days where I didn't have a lot of full boxes, but I also didn't have a lot of plans, and usually when that happens, I usually fill it up with YouTube, which is probably what I do whenever I'm not doing anything else that I need to be doing. And I usually do a face mask at the end of the night as well. So here I'm just shifting the stickers up a little bit so that everything would fit. There's the YouTube sticker, and then the page flag here I'm using, I'm just going to move it up just so that everything looks a little bit more even compared to the bottom washi there. And I'm going to be using a face mask sticker from Her House Prints, which I haven't shopped them for in a long time, so I'm not sure if they still sell stickers because I got this a really long time ago. Moving on to the 1st, it was the first day of August, so I wanted to mark that in a grand way. I used this half box. Later on, I ended up shifting some things around, but this I'm just going to be using the Hello August sticker that I have that's pretty large into the half box that I have there. Now, like I said, I moved some things around, so I'm not quite sure what's going to be happening next, but basically this day, in the morning, me and my fiance went with his mom to go to a carpet place to see if they could give us an estimate on how much it would be. They ended up being a lot cheaper than Home Depot, and we ended up deciding to go with them instead of Home Depot. And we were able to find a carpet, luckily, that was pretty similar in color and feel to the one we wanted at Home Depot. This day, my fiance just had some struggles and it was a really hard time for him, so I just wanted to mark that. I was the munchkin on the left and he was the one on the right, and I just wanted to mark it in the planner to remember, but it was just a really stressful day for him and I felt really bad that I couldn't help him at all. And afterwards, that same day, we were able to get our fridge and stove from Lowe's, so at least we were able to get the appliance in because we were moving soon. But it was a struggle of a day to see him in that state. This was probably the time when I realized that I wouldn't have enough space for everything that I wanted to do. This credit card was to mark the fridge and stove that we were going to get, but I also wanted to mark that we were able to get takeout that day as well. We ended up going to this poke slash sushi taco place that's called Anhakor 2.0. And to mark that, I used a little sticker that I have from Hey Soul sticker that has a poke bowl, because that's one of the things that we got. My favorite type of sushi from there is the sushi tacos. I love sushi tacos a lot, and if you guys have not tried it, you guys really need to. The shell of the taco is basically made from the seaweed, and it's really, really good. When I'm eating, I'm all about the texture, so when I'm eating ice cream, I love to have some kind of crunch in there. When I'm eating food, I also like the mixture of different tastes, and the seaweed taco mixed with all the things that a normal sushi would have, the rice and all of that, it blends really nice together and it tastes really, really good. And here, like I said, I ended up switching things around, so I'm going to end up putting the carpet consultation all the way at the top, and then I shift things up a little bit so I can have space to mark the takeout that we got that day. Moving on to Sunday, another day when I really needed slash wanted Starbucks. I used an extra Starbucks sticker that I had, as well as a script that I had, but since the script was too long, I decided to cut it down so that it would say star and then bucks underneath it. We also made a trip to Home Depot just because our friend was coming that day to help us with painting, and since we would have 3 people, me, my fiance, and my friend, we decided to go to Home Depot just to make sure we had all the extra supplies that we would need. And the rest of the day was basically filled with painting at the new place. And at the end of the day, we also got some takeout from a place called Crave Kebab, which was Mediterranean food, I believe, which was actually pretty good. I've never had Mediterranean food from there, so it was really good to try out. I don't do all of the writing for my spreads until the end of the video, so you'll be seeing that later. This one, I'm going to be transitioning from the end of this spread into the next daily plans for the next spread. Here's the finished spread, and I can't forget to do a little Viv wiggle for all of you guys. And now let's move on to the next one. It's actually been about a week since I did my voiceover. I just got really busy with school, so I haven't had time, but here I go with the next plan with me. This week I was able to go to Bed Bath & Beyond, and I was actually able to find a dream mirror of mine. And it wasn't at Bed Bath & Beyond. I went to Bed Bath & Beyond with my cousin, and we went to Home Goods right afterwards. And I've been looking for a mirror for the longest time. When we were moving into this new place, I told my fiance that my biggest purchase that I really, really wanted to get was a large mirror, like the ones that the Instagram influencers have, just because that's always been my dream to have that. And since they're are no large mirrors in this condo except for the ones that are for brushing our teeth. I really wanted to get a standalone mirror that I would be able to have for myself. I actually did find a mirror before, but it was from Kirkland's, and the one I found at HomeGoods actually ended up being around the same size, and it was a little bit cheaper too, so it was really, really nice. But the problem with that was my car is a smaller car. I have a Toyota Camry, and the mirror, since it was really large, it was not able to fit into my car. So me and my cousin and two of the workers that worked at HomeGoods struggled for about 10 to 15 minutes trying to figure out how to lower the back seats of my car. And I felt so bad because I've never put the seats down before, so I had no idea how to do it. And I had to do some Google searches and some YouTube searches. And we finally figured out how to lower it, which was really, really simple. There's a latch in the back, which I had no idea. But we figured it out, and after figuring it out, after all that time, we realized that it wasn't going to fit anyway. So I ended up having to leave the mirror there and putting my name down so that I could pick it up the next day. Luckily, I knew that my sister has a bigger car than me, so I was hoping that it would be able to fit in her car. She was willing to come down and help me out to bring the mirror to my house. So the next day was when she actually went with me to go pick it up, and it barely fit into the car. I was nervous that it wasn't going to fit again, but I don't know how people usually do it when they buy large mirrors like that, if they usually ship it or whatnot. And because of COVID, I don't know how shipping is with mirrors, but luckily it ended up just barely fitting into our car, and we were both able to both take it into the condo without any help, just the two of us, and there was no problem there. And now I have my dream mirror. This whole week was full of painting to do at the new place. I think I almost painted every single day. I'm looking over it, and I think I almost did except for 2 of the days. But I did a lot of painting on Monday with my cousin and Jason. And on Tuesday, I did a lot of painting with my sister. We had to make another trip to Sherwin-Williams just because we ran out of paint, which we figured we were going to do, but I was hoping we wouldn't. We went to get some more paint, and we spent the day just painting together, and we got some help from my friend as well. He came over to help out as well as with my sister, so we got a lot finished that day. And if you guys have been following me for a bit now, you guys know that I love Hello Jasmine. It's my favorite milk tea place. My cousin was the sweetest, and she knew how hard I've been working on painting and just fixing up the new place, and she gave us a little surprise and bought us some of the drinks and had it just delivered over to us, which I really, really appreciated. I'm taking some inspiration from Ice Cream Joe, and she mentioned in one of her plan with me's that she usually likes to highlight some of the events that happened the week that she's talking about for the plan with me versus the stickers. I'd really like your opinions on what you guys really think about that. I usually talk about the stickers just because I feel like that's usually what people are here for, but I will also try to incorporate some more of the things that are happening throughout the week. I think because of the voiceover, I usually feel like I'm running out of time, so I don't have time to say everything that I want to say, but I'll be trying my best. On Wednesday, this was when we were still living at the old place. We live in a condo, and the place that we were living at, somebody, I don't know who, was blasting their bass and was just playing very, very loud music. I didn't mind at first, but it was just so loud that I had to wake up, and I think it was at 8 or 9 in the morning, and since I was on summer vacation, I was very, very annoyed, but I just stayed up and did a couple errands, and then I was able to go to the new place to just paint some more. On the Thursday of this week, I was actually able to go to my first haircut since quarantine happened, since everything happened. I usually don't get a haircut that often, but I was doing pretty good at going just because I wanted to get rid of a lot of split ends. But since quarantine happened, my hair grew really long all the way to my butt actually, and I really, really liked it because it's the longest my hair has ever been since probably college. I really didn't want to go to the hair salon just because I hate cutting my hair. I always get a fear that they're going to cut it too short, or it's going to look awkward when they do cut it. I've been going to the same person for like the last couple of years, but I still get that fear every time that he'll do it too short for me. I went on Thursday, and it actually turned out great. I always end up liking it. I don't know why I have the fear, and when I say 2 inches, he actually listens and does 2 inches. If you're Asian and you go to have gone to an Asian place, you'll know that usually 2 cuts usually means 4 to 6 inches. So luckily, I really ended up liking my haircuts, and I am glad I went. Thursday, I was also able to film my first talk-through video. I figured a haul would be better than a plan with me because I usually take a really long time on my plan with me's to talk through everything. So since I had a couple items from I think 4 shops, I decided to just do a talk-through haul just to see how it would go. I think either way, if I do a talk-through or a voiceover, I still get really out of breath. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll leave it in the information card if you guys are interested in checking it out. Friday, the bass thing happened again, so I just marked that in my planner because it was really, really loud again. And on this day, another one of my friends was able to help us out with painting, which I really appreciated. I think this was the first time I was starting the Netflix series It's Okay to Be Okay. One of the actors that I really enjoy was in the show. I'm not a huge fan of the actress in it, but I decided to watch it because a lot of people were saying how it's one of their top dramas. So I was watching that as well as listening to some podcasts. This night I also did gel nails, and I'm not sure what's happening with my gel lamp or my coats that I'm doing. Maybe my polishes are off, but something's been going on with my gel nails where they don't look like how they should be looking like. So I need to do some more research to figure out what it is. Saturday was the day when our carpeting came. It took them about 3 hours to finish doing the whole carpeting situation. We stayed there just to see how it would go, and the carpet is pretty interesting, the process of putting it in and taking it out. He just came on his own. I expected it to be a couple more people to be joining with him. I thought it would be more of a 2-person job, but he came on his own and he was doing it, and there were a couple things that were questionable, but I guess since we were paying the lower price, we were just kind of taking it as what it was. That day I was also able to get some dim sum and some McDonald's, which are 2 of my favorite things as well. I haven't had dim sum in a while since quarantine happened, so it was really enjoyable. And I will never refuse McDonald's if you offer it to me, so I just really enjoyed our meal for the morning. We had a little midday nap together, and we were able to go do some grocery shopping. And that night, me and my fiance had a really long talk. It was about an hour long, and it wasn't necessarily a disagreement. I guess it was a disagreement. We just weren't yelling at each other, which is a rare thing for us. When we usually argue at pretty loud volumes. But that day, we were just having a disagreement, and we were just chatting, and it was very, very cordial, I guess. Sunday was our last day of painting. My mom was able to come to help us, and I was able to spend some quality time with her, so that was very nice. And I'm gonna let this play out till I go to the next spread so you guys can enjoy watching me put down the rest of the stickers, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Here's how the second spread turned out, and I'll show you guys a little wiggle, and right now we're gonna switch over to the third and final spread. Starting this final spread, my fiance was able to take off 2 weeks. Since we were moving this week, he was able to take off the week knowing that we were about to move. So we did a lot of preparations for the move, as well as just finishing up some cleanup at the new place. And I marked it off with this little washi strip that I found in my extra sticker bin. And since I had a day extender there, I had to just chop off a little bit to make it fit so it doesn't look awkward. I decided to go over the extender so that it would show up at the top. On Monday, we were just trying to bring things over slowly. So this day, since we have 2 TVs at the old place, we decided to bring one of the new TVs to the new place just to see if the connection would work and to see how the Wi-Fi would work. We did a lot of cleaning that day, and T-Mobile Tuesday was having a deal last week that we were able to redeem. So this day we were able to go to Popeyes and get a free, I think it was a chicken sandwich, and as well as 2 chicken pieces. But that day I ate a lot, and I had some soup that I ate on top of that as well, and my tummy ended up hurting a lot, so I ended up going to bed really early. Tuesday was another day full of cleaning and just replacing light bulbs and fixing toilets and all of that. We made a run to Home Depot probably twice that day, and we just went to get some new toilet seats as well as some light bulbs because we were switching out some of the ones in the bathroom. The ones the old owners had were really blinding, and they seemed like they were wasting a lot of energy, so we just bought some energy efficient ones. And in the evening, since school was about to start soon as well, I had some time to do a school training, so I did that at the evening. Wednesday, my cousin came to visit us at the new place, and she was able to help us out a little bit while we were doing some cleaning as well. There was just a lot of stuff that we needed to do in terms of management and checking some things over at the old place that needed to be settled. We got a new bookshelf for my bedroom. Since we were moving, the one I had before was from my mom's place, and that one's been with me for a lot of years, and it's really worn, and we didn't want to bring it to the new place, so I bought a new bookshelf, and we were just building it this day. This day was also the day that I did my 1.9K giveaway on Instagram, so I just marked that to show that I started it this day. Thursday to Saturday were really not marked a lot for me in my planner. I didn't remember to mark a lot of stuff down, so I kind of had to retrack what I was doing, and I couldn't remember a lot of the stuff I was doing. I just remembered that I was packing a lot, especially at nighttime. This was pretty close to when we were moving. We were moving Saturday this week, and Thursday and Friday, a majority of the nighttime, I spent packing up a lot of the things that were big ticket items, kind of like my Mac, which I would not be able to use, and my desk and all of that stuff. So we were just doing a lot of packing as well as prepping, taking apart our bed, taking apart our sofa, and just making sure that we were able to have everything ready for when our friends came to help. My cousin's birthday was actually on our moving day, and her boyfriend's birthday is the day before hers, so I marked that in my planner, but sadly we weren't able to celebrate with them as much because we were moving. Saturday, a lot of our friends were able to come and help us, so we had a lot of cars, and we were able to do it pretty efficiently. I think we only made 2 trips total, and the place we're moving to is not that far from our old place, so it went pretty smoothly. Our fridge was supposed to be delivered this day, and we ordered it from Lowe's, and it was just horrible. I know Lowe's does the moving with a third party, so the company that we were trying to call, we just kept getting redirected, and I had to keep calling, and I had to channel my inner Karen to figure out what the hell was happening with my fridge, because we really needed it since it was our moving day and we were expecting them to come. I think they told us the latest time they would come was 3 o'clock, and I think it was about 3:30 or later when they actually ended up showing up, and they're supposed to give us a warning call just to make sure we're at the place, so I can't imagine what would have happened if we weren't even there. The guy showed up and it turned out fine, but one of the guys that were there was asking us for Tylenol, which was really weird, and he didn't have a mask on, which I was really uncomfortable with, but we got the fridge in, it was fine, and we just spent the rest of the day basically unpacking. Please let me know in the comments down below how you would have felt or how you would have dealt in the situation. I think we were just in such a shock that we just didn't do anything. I didn't want to reject the fridge because we needed it, but also I was uncomfortable that he was just asking for Tylenol, seemingly sick. without a mask in a pandemic. If you're Asian, please let me know in the comments down below. Or if you're not and you have these traditions, please let me know. But my fiance's family is really into superstitions and doing things that help with good luck and all of that. So one of the things is that we weren't able to move in on certain days. There's lucky days that you can move in, and there's unlucky days that you can move in. Saturday was one of the days that was unlucky, and since we moved all of our stuff there, we didn't have anywhere to sleep on. So luckily my fiance got an air mattress, and we were able to sleep on that until Monday, the day we actually moved into the place. I've moved a lot when I was younger, so packing and unpacking is something that I'm really good at, I think. It took us a couple days, probably 2 to 3 days, for us to completely unpack everything. I just need to buy more materials to kind of organize everything to make sure that they fit okay. But that was probably the last couple things I marked on Saturday, and Sunday was me unpacking, as well as Sunday was the first day that we were sleeping on the air mattress, and it was super uncomfortable. I don't think I can ever sleep on an air mattress again. They're really, really uncomfortable. And the one that we were on, it was deflating as well throughout the night, so it was just really bad. And when I woke up, my neck and back was hurting like crazy. I'm completely out of breath, so I'm going to let the video play out, and I'll see you guys at the end. Finally, here's my final spread. I'm going to show you guys a little wiggle, and I'm going to show you guys with all the writing. Here's all the writing for the first spread, and I'm going to just show you all the extenders and lay everything out with the stickers, and I'm going to go ahead and flip through the rest of the spreads as well. I'm really glad I was able to find these 2 kits from Whimsical Plans, and I'm glad I was able to stretch them out to 3 different weeks. The last spread that you saw, I'm pretty sure you saw me pulling a lot of stickers from my stash, but as you can see, I used a majority of the kit, which is why I had to pull some things for myself. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!